the iconic golden arches are no longer automatically synonymous with cheap food. Today, in the United States, angry customers wonder if the McDonald's chain is overvalued. Viral TikTok videos show families paying $25 for a meal of nuggets and potatoes. McFlation, some call it. The phenomenon is real. The average McDonald's menu price rose by around 40% between 2019 and 2024, fueling massive complaints on social media. Even in the post-war golden era, when McDonald's grew unstoppable as an emblem of accessible fast food, nothing like it had ever been seen. Now, the burger giant is facing an unprecedented crisis. Its most loyal diners feel that it's not as cheap as it used to be. How did the colossus of $2 combos get here? The golden age. For decades, McDonald's reigned unquestionably in the fast food market. In the 50s, Ray Kroc established an ultra-fast and cheap model that marked a before and after. With over 13,000 restaurants in the U.S. alone in 2025, the chain expanded its golden arches across the country and the world, becoming a global cultural symbol. Even in the 2000s, in the face of internal or image crises, McDonald's appealed to courage. Remember the historic dollar menu of 2003, which rescued the company from its worst moment and then fueled years of growth. The specialized press celebrates the so-called McDonald's business saga as that of a brand that literally wrote the playbook on value. In that golden age, a Big Mac cost just a few dollars and thousands of students and workers assembled their lunches at McDonald's with the certainty of a lot of food for a few dollars. Executives were buoying with steady sales, foreign investment was flowing, and the company was promising innovation, kids playing in play areas, new product launches with fanfare, etc. The documentary's voiceover tells how, at the height of its glory, McDonald's was the most profitable and admired fast food chain in the U.S. However, even in great success stories, the seed of crisis is always hidden. Because below this historical brilliance, price tensions began to form that no one wanted to see. This series of past successes draws the contrast. What was a bang-for-buck paradise is now a shifting ground for the multinational, and its old foundations were beginning to creak in silence. But the storm was just coming. The beginning of the collapse. Starting in 2023, the warning signs began to roll out in the U.S. With inflation unleashed and costs on the rise, McDonald's repeated a 10% annual price increase in 2022 and 2023. At the same rate, customers began to pinch their pockets when they saw the cost of their menu increase. Economists agree, while spending on eating out rose by almost 6% in 2023, cooking at home barely grew by 1.3%. In other words, the price gap between home and street widened. In its 2023 quarterly reports, the company itself admitted that we know that consumers are getting more and more tired of prices, CFO Ian Borden told investors. Even CEO Chris Kempczynski acknowledged it. Lower-income diners were ordering smaller orders and going out less often. On the networks, users vented their frustration. Texts such as, "Fast food is not so cheap anymore," became recurrent. Some analysts were already talking about a damaged perception of value. McDonald's is no longer seen as the economic option that it was. Sales began to show negative signals. For the second half of 2023, many reports indicated drops in restaurant traffic. The fall was not uniform. While lower-income customers declined, high-income customers continued to visit branches, attracted by novelty and convenience. A kind of two-tier economy was thus created. The rich buy hamburgers as before, but the poor can no longer afford them, warns an analyst. In addition, competitors and emerging chains launched the war of value by advertising cheap menus and aggressive promotions, putting more pressure on McDonald's. By the end of 2023, the balance was clear. The Golden Palace was losing customers at the foundation of its social pyramid. And that opens up an abyss of questions. How would the multinational react when even its own executives admit the problem? The CEO's confession. In the microphones of the business world, McDonald's change in discourse did not go unnoticed. At the beginning of 2024, CEO Chris Kempczynski surprised by admitting that sales to lower-income consumers were quite impacted by current prices. Where you see pressure is in the low-income customer, he acknowledged bluntly on the first quarter 2024 earnings call. In a firm voice, he explained that a family with an income below $45,000 used to be his base, but now many of them choose to stay at home and cook, as eating out has become excessively expensive. At the same time, the president of McDonald's USA, Joe Erlinger, declared to the press, "As far as value is concerned, we know that there is no one-size-fits-all. We have created a new platform that will allow customers to define value on their own terms." And he highlighted, "We are sending a clear message. We are here for our customers, offering the food they love at prices that fit into their lives." However, in the internal corridors, the pressure grew. The CFO claimed that recent increases had left some consumers alert or tired of spending. Internally, there was talk of a problem of price perception. Thousands of complaints on social networks had crossed the line, and they were not an exaggeration. The financial press described the scene bluntly. McDonald's was beginning to suffer the brutal effects of its past price increases. Kempczynski himself stated in October 2024 that a slight drop in sales was partly due to our food being too expensive. The chain, which for years raked in millions of dollars thanks to every extra penny on the menu, was now facing reality. Its reputation for economics was faltering. Given this, the question on everyone's lips was, how would his strategy change after this public self-criticism? The capitulation, return to value. The answer soon came in the form of sales. In June 2024, McDonald's launched a $5 meal combo in the U.S., McDouble or McChicken, small potatoes, 4 nuggets, and drink for $5. It was the beginning of the official surrender. The company began to give back some of that lost affordability. In August, franchises committed to weekly deals like Free Fries Friday. For September, they introduced extra value meals, combos with discounts of 15% compared to buying items separately. For example, a sausage McMuffin with coffee and potatoes for $5 and a complete Big Mac meal for $8. At the same time, the McValue campaign was unleashed. At the beginning of 2025, the new McDonald's value platform was announced, with slogans such as, "I save every day, all day." John Cena appeared in commercials excitedly explaining the buy one, add one for $1 combos. The message left no doubt. McDonald's was once again offering a variety of economic deals. Erlinger himself proudly proclaimed, "From the $5 meal deal to McValue, and now extra value meals, we're sending a clear message. People can eat at McDonald's with prices that fit their lives." This change of direction was called a capitulation by some analysts. McDonald's admitted that it needed to regain the trust of price-sensitive customers. In fact, the most recent reports even suggest that these promotions had an effect. In the second half of 2024, the chain began to regain some traction, with a slight increase in comparable sales in the U.S. Yet, the surviving critique echoed in the air. Are these courageous tactics enough to repair the image, or are they just temporary patches? How do you make sure people don't leave the brand again when economic pressures return? Internal war, corporate versus franchises. Behind the scenes of this new strategy, a classic tension arose at McDonald's, the fight between the corporate parent company and its franchisees. Although the company officially claimed that it worked hand-in-hand with our franchisees to create McValue, the independents were not entirely convinced. Several reports pointed to skepticism. Some franchisees feared losing money on the $5 promotions and doubted profitability. In fact, certain local campaigns suggested different offers. One operator proposed reintroducing the $2.99 snack wrap, a cheaper, easier-to-prepare classic that drew support among restaurant owners. In practice, franchises own 95% of restaurants in the U.S. and set their prices. The McDonald's presidency, aware of this, promised grants and marketing campaigns. Even Coca-Cola offered to fund part of the $5 combo promotion, according to leaked rumors. But in several internal meetings, the discussion became heated. Is it worth sacrificing margins to attract customers? Some managers feared that record labor costs, California's $20 minimum wage, among others, would make such aggressive bids untenable. Despite the clash, the public front tried to maintain the image of unity. Franchisee President Danielle Marasco stated that, "We are working together to keep the products our customers love affordable." In turn, the parent company assured the media that in each community, our owners offer their best offers. However, differences circulated in the aisles. Some franchisees insisted on betting on proven products, while the corporate insisted on a common menu of value. The internal war was pulsating between the promise of volume, more customers, and the financial reality of each restaurant. In the end, the chain avoided a major internal collapse by promising to share profits with operators. But the question remained, would the centralized low-price view win, or would local autonomy prevail? The economy does not help. Like a backstorm, the global economy doesn't favor McDonald's. The macro data is clear. Food inflation has kept household budgets at bay, and essential costs, housing, health, fuel, continue to skyrocket. In his call for the third quarter of 2024, Kempczynski acknowledged that households with less than $45,000 annually will not eat out again until they feel relief in basic items such as food, rent, and childcare. In other words, the economic pressure does not cease. While the real income of many falls, the chain struggles to adapt. Economists speak of a K or two-tier economy. The wealthiest are spending without hesitation, but the poorest are tightening their belts. McDonald's reflects this directly. The lower-income customer is where the pressure is, the CEO admitted. Recent studies show that the frequency of visits from households with less than $45,000 has dropped sharply. These clients now spend more on rent, education, and debt, fearing every dollar spent outside the home. Even enemy brands in premium sectors such as Dollar Tree or Walmart report an increase in high-income buyers looking to economize, a sign that even wealthy families now prefer to scalp down to save. In this context, the network is confident that its current battleground is affordability. The boost from offers such as extra value meals or the restocking of the snack wrap aims to counteract inflationary pressure on the consumer. But the reality is harsh. If every piece of fruit, bread, or fuel goes up in price, every McDonald's combo goes down a step on the priority list. As one analyst reflects, the McDonald's menu has become so expensive that for some, Happy Meals are now prohibitive. Will McDonald's be able to weather this perfect storm of inflation and wage gaps, many wonder? Existential danger. McDonald's value problem goes beyond a simple drop in sales. It touches the very essence of the empire. For decades, the chain knew how to cultivate the loyalty of its customers by valuing them with affordable prices. Today, it runs the risk of losing precisely that seal of identity. The battleground is with the low-income consumer, the CEO pointed out emphatically. If that fringe remains elusive, the brand's own promise, good, beautiful, and cheap fast food, collapses. Several analysts warn McDonald's may have cut too much, displacing a segment that was its bread and butter. After all, the exponential growth of the Golden Arches was cemented in the working class. Now, it is said, only the wealthiest part of that audience seems to appreciate their products. If this trend is confirmed, the network would face a brutal dilemma. What is the point of its strategy if it gives up the ground that made it great? Some suggest that McDonald's will reach a tipping point where it will be forced to redefine its mission, or risk being displaced by a new generation of fast and cheaper offerings. The danger exists on several fronts: low-cost competitors, inexpensive supermarket kitchens, and even public perception. Images of outraged customers and declining satisfaction surveys paint a dark picture. Even with the hope that the promotions will rebound the influx, the question remains. Surely, the Golden Arches will continue to symbolize value for its traditional diners. A prolonged stumble could erode its brand in such a way that it takes years to regain it, putting the chain at risk of losing its throne in the economic segment. The uncertain future. Towards 2025, what horizon does McDonald's envision? Some recent indicators inject some optimism. After tightening its value strategy, the company has reported slight upturns. For example, in the second quarter of 2025, global comparable sales rose by 3.8%, its best performance in almost 2 years, driven precisely by attractive offers and menu renewals. A notable increase in the spending of members of its loyalty program was also detected, showing that the promotions managed to capture additional transactions. However, executives warn of caution. Although the CEO highlighted the positive impact of continuing to send clear messages of value and extending the rewards program, he reiterated the concern for low-income diners. On the street, customers seem to be on the lookout. While some are happy about the $5 in combos, others are still reminiscing about the days of 1 to 2 to 3 menus. The fear of rekindling dissatisfaction is latent. McDonald's strategic roadmap now aims to combine its classic value with menu innovations, premium burgers, enhanced breakfasts, even ordering technology, seeking to appeal to both tight budgets and palates eager for novelty. Can this balance be sustained? No one knows for sure. In the business saga that is the modern history of McDonald's, each chapter brings dramatic twists. Today, the protagonist faces a crossroads. Adapt to a world where people are more cautious about spending or risk his legacy. Yes, the chain is still number one in the world, but staying that way will require ingenuity. Analysts agree that the next path will be full of tests. Continue to reinforce value, strengthen the digital experience, and above all, make wounded customers fall in love again. McDonald's future is a high-stakes game where every move can tip the scales between recovery or irrelevance. Only time will tell where this corporate roller coaster will lead. In the end, the McDonald's crisis is both a human and a business story. What began as a confrontation with numbers, costs, prices, margins, has transcended the very heart of the brand. The cameras move away, and the signs of a restaurant remain on the screen. Will diners respond to the new offers, or will the brand have to reinvent itself again? As the narrator's voice echoes, we are reminded that McDonald's has a long history as a destination of value. It's imperative that we keep affordability front and center for our customers. It is a firm promise, but loaded with a challenge: to rebuild lost trust. At this point, only the question remains hanging in the air. Will the fast food icon be able to adapt to tough times and be perceived as a bargain again? Or will it end up being remembered as a warning of the inflationary era? The cards are on the table, and millions of American consumers are waiting for the next move. In the face of so much uncertainty, one thing is for sure. The McDonald's saga continues to be written with every dollar customers choose to spend or not spend.